You said for people who make the perpetual light. So there are souls that don't. What happens to those souls?
That I've been finding out recently. Now, you have to be a real SOB to not get into the perpetual light. Let's say Hitler didn't make it there. Stalin didn't make it there. And I'm sure there's plenty of figures here on the earth that are less well known that didn't make it there. And they state somebody's relative had come through and said that they had welcomed, an individual from the family who had passed on not that long ago. And they said to him, that he said, the soul said he was going to take them into the perpetual light. And he said, but we have to go through, this is really like the first time I heard, well, maybe not the first time I've heard about it, but the first time I really paid attention to it. They said, we have to go through some, like 1 or 2 levels. And he said to his relation, just, for that, you may want to close your eyes, and then I'll tell you when to open them again. And the reason he said that is because those lower levels they had to go through probably were not pleasant looking or inviting. And he might have been afraid that the soul would think, well, where are you taking me? Am I going to hell or something like this? Now, these darker levels, and again, this is all about people bring it onto themselves. If you're a normal average Joe and a nice guy and so forth, you certainly will go into the perpetual light. But because those levels are closest to our level, you would have to gravitate. This could explain, they said, why certain souls, people see ghosts, so to speak. Because the soul, even though they've passed on, whether they know they've passed on or haven't passed on, they want to stay in the surroundings of what they feel comfortable with. Hence, you'll go into, say, an abandoned mental asylum, and there'll still be souls haunting it that died there. And they don't want to move forward because they don't know what's going to happen, or they're afraid they don't know what's going to happen. But when somebody welcomes them, they take them through, and then they're in the perpetual light, as they call it. And very pleasant existence. What I was pleased to hear from them is that those dimensions in the perpetual light and higher are ruled by the natural law is only the highest and the best virtues that you can conceive. They refer to them as the 7 gifts of being brought up Catholic. This I understood, the Holy Ghost, the 7 gifts of the Holy Ghost. And I'd never heard that before. Again, being brought up in Catholic school, I knew what the 7 gifts of the Holy Ghost were, but we were never taught the 7 fruits of the Holy Ghost. And naturally, I went on Google and did go on eBay and Etsy, and there's people that had made artistic like posters that with the listing of the 7 fruits of the Holy Ghost. And when I read them, I was like, wow, this is great, because this is what they're telling us is what we have to look forward to. All I ask here for us is that we just try to do the best we can. But the lower levels, they said, it's not fire and brimstone like, the evangelicals like to say. And they're too quick to, make judgment like, well, he's going to hell, because he didn't accept Jesus or something like this. And it's just silly. These darker levels are actually very cold. They're darker because you pulled yourself away from the perpetual light by your deeds. It's also very damp and very gloomy. And you're involved, you're there with people, souls who were exactly like you. And that in itself would probably be very disenchanting, even for someone. And I said in my mind, are these like people that would be considered sinners? And they said, yes. A sinner is someone who loves evil, not does evil, loves evil.
Wow.
And I said, aha. So, I mean, it could be, Joe Blow and Mary Smith, there for loving, doing evil ways or getting ahead in evil ways. I mean, look at politics, there's a great example. But
so that's refreshing to hear.
So yeah,
that all politicians are going to the dark, gloomy place.
Well, not all of them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.